we are going to do the pepper. It is going to be I have an orange pepper. Let's see if I can show you it live here. I've got like a yellow one, and this is crazy. Here's an orange one, and here's a yellow one, and I just want you to notice the shapes, that they have the bumps on the top, and it digs in deep. There we go. Bumps on the top. I gotta take my glasses off because I can't see. Okay, bumps on the top, and it digs in deep, and then that you have these little bit of a welt or a divot in there in the bottom like this. You may choose to paint yours. We're going to paint it face on. We're going to paint a red one face on. I'm going to show you how to draw it. But you may choose to open it up, cut it open, and use the seeds, paint what the seeds look like. Maybe we'll just do it right now. Let me change my screen over so that you can see it. Laura, if you have anything to add to it, let me know. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to go right over here so that you can see my screen. And hello, Emily, beautiful Emily, thank you. Again, Laura and I were trying to figure out the program and blah, blah, blah. But now we have it. You can see what I have on the screen here. I'm just going to take this X-Acto knife because I didn't bring a knife in here. I have had this sitting here all day, so I'm not going to eat it. I'll probably feed it to the deer. But we're going to paint this pepper. I'm going to paint a red one because I love color red, but I brought an orange one and a yellow one to look at. There we go. And I was talking about how if you wanted to, you could paint one that's open. You could paint the seeds on here. You can paint the deepness in there, or you can do like a side view. Or you can paint it whole. Wow, does it have a smell? Can you smell it? It's so beautiful. The colors are so beautiful. Okay, so I will prop this up so that it's a little closer to the camera because it's a little easier for you to see. Laura, how is that? Can you see it?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Thanks.
Okay, good. All right, so I pre-drew this just to make it a little simpler. But I'm going to just show you again how to draw it. I noticed that there were these kind of humps behind. I'm going to draw a little darker so that you can see it on the screen. And the stem comes out of the middle and it comes down. So that hump behind is important to have it behind. And when you're drawing it, I'm going to pull this over here so you can. I see everything that you guys are seeing. I want you to see me too. Okay, so you can see Laura and I. We're down in the bottom corner, Laura. Okay, so then this next one, this hump is going to come up, over, and come out. And it can be a little bit wedged, kind of like we did with the apple. It can have a flat edge to it. It's not a round, perfect round. It's a round here, and it's a little flat up here. You can do it flat down here and rounder at the top. That's up to you. What I'd like you to notice is the coloring. See how the lighting is on here? It's light here and light there. It's catching light. But in between where those divots are, it's a little bit dark. So that's kind of cool. The green, isn't that beautiful? You could even do the top. You could paint what the top looks like. That's kind of cool too. So we've got that side. Then I'm going to do the other side, which is going to come up and come over and come down and around and stop here. And that's the base of the outside of my whole pepper. Okay, and then I'm going to do this front piece. This is the front piece on me. It's going to go down a little bit, down below, and then come up and around. So it comes down below and up around. Hi, Chris. How are you? Thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. Give me a thumbs up if it sounds okay to you and you can hear. Here we go with just some samples. I'd like to use the red because red's my favorite color. So we're going to talk about the colors that we're going to use. We're going to use the cadmium red down here.
Hey, Jenny.
Yes.
I just wanted to say I just got the message that came up on my phone that our studio is live now.
Oh, good. Okay, so maybe they're a little bit behind where you and I are right now.
I don't know.
They're probably catching up a little bit behind us, so it's just good. It's just letting it, oh, I got the thumbs up. Hi, Lori, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time. I miss you. Hi, Chris. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. I'm just putting the sample of the colors down. The first one was the cadmium, and then the second one is the alizarin crimson. This is a little bit blue for me that I wanted to use, a little more purpley blue than what I wanted to use on this this pear. What am I calling it a pear for? This is the live thing. This is where I stumble because I get nervous. So just so you know, I am nervous. It's obvious. But for my pepper, I really wanted to use I wanted to make a red pepper. So we're going to use more of the cadmium red, and maybe we'll use some of this alizarin crimson for some detail. And then we need that sap green, and I hope you remember how to make the sap green. It was the green, the medium green, and then you add a little yellow ochre to it, and it makes it a little more sappy, like a sap green. And you can vary your greens. You don't have to have it really brown sappy like mine. You can vary it. The other one we're going to use is the regular medium green. And if I take this medium green and I want to make it, so far we've been using all these same colors, but let's say I want to make this more like an olive green. So we added the yellow ochre to make it a sap green, and to make it olive, we're going to add a little more yellow in there. So the ochre and then a little bit of the cadmium yellow, and it becomes olive. But what's so exciting, I have a little puddle here, and what's so exciting is you can add the two colors you want, and you can change it to make it how much olive you want, the way your eyes see color. Everybody sees it a little bit differently, I think, and so for me that looked olive to me, so that was a little bit of the sap. How did yours come out, Laura?
It did come out more olivey, like a light olive.
Good. Okay, good. That's kind of what we want. We want that light olive. Okay, so now we're going to take that first pass of our well, I guess we could kind of decide where the highlights are going to be. We could decide that we're going to have a highlight on that top. We're going to have a highlight here. We're going to have a highlight here. I'm drawing kind of dark today because I really wanted you to see it. When I was watching some of the replays, I noticed how it was kind of hard to see the drawing, and I think that's important to get the drawing on this particular shape. So I am drawing a little darker than I like to, but for us, for our purposes, this is just going to be just fine, and it'll be okay if the drawing shows. So these are places that I want to highlight. I do notice that there's some highlight. Let's see if I can get it showing here in the divot part. See how it's dark right here? It's dark right here, and the highlight's really pretty close to the edge. It doesn't go all the way down. The highlight's pretty big here, but I just made it small. If I change the angle of this, you see more highlight on this one. So I just want you to be aware of the highlight. I want you to just think about it when you're drawing and painting. Again, we're not spending hours at this. This is a 30-minute little, little sample of painting lesson. So just think about those things when you look at it. It's really cool because now I start noticing a lot more things out there in the real world. I'm like, wow, I didn't even notice that before. That's really cool. So I don't know if you noticed the shadows and the highlights on your peppers before you cut them up to cook. I'm just doing now a light wash, just a real light wash of that cadmium red. You will really end up leaving your spaces, leaving these little white spots that I drew, those little spaces, the highlights. Just don't paint over them, leave them white. We'll take care of them later. And this is called a dry on wet, wet on dry. My brush is wet and the paper is dry. So it's wet on dry technique. Wet on wet is really fun too. We're gonna do some, on the Monday classes, Monday we're gonna, not this Monday coming up, but on a Monday class, we're gonna do some really watery flowers and poppies. So if you're interested in joining me on the Monday, send me your email. It's a free online Monday class, but we're gonna do it through Zoom. This live is every Tuesday and Thursday, which is really fun. But I want to do a Zoom lesson where I can see you. So I will send you, if you send me your email, I will send you an invite to it, and you can come. And this particular Monday, we're going to do a koi fish. There's been a request to do a koi fish. But in the Mondays to come, I want to do some watery, some really wet on wet flowers as well. I think those would be fun and pretty. So I'm talking and I'm stalling a little bit. I'm just putting on a nice light, real light wash first. I'm gonna let that dry. Let's look and see who's here. Hi, Mike. How are you? I sure hope you're painting with me. I love that you're here. I haven't seen you for so long. It's really cool that you're here. Give me a thumbs up if you're painting with us. We would love to know that. If you are painting with us, everybody, I would love it if you would post it on Art Yourself Studio. I think when this is over, you can go right to my page. I think you have to follow my page. You have to follow Art Yourself Studio, and then you can write your own post. There's a thumbs up. Thank you. I'm so happy you're here. This is exciting. Okay, this is fun. I've got Laura painting with me, and Melanie, and Emily, and Chris. Thank you all. And Lori, thank you all so much for being here. This is really fun. It's getting dry. So I think I can now add a little bit more of the red. And it's funny because on my paper, it's so close to my face, it looks really pink to me. But maybe if I move my samples down here, here's all the samples that you guys can look at, it might look more red when I take away the other colors. All right, now I'm just going with a nice thick, not thick, but a little thicker with the red. Just a little thicker, and doing the edge all the way to the edge, covering up the little bit of the pencil and covering up that wash a little bit. I like if you leave some of the wash showing through. That's fantastic because that's going to give you your layers. So we're going to leave some of the wash coming through, and it adds a lot of interest. So because this is wet on dry, it's pretty solid. If I wanted to add a little more interest, I might just put some water, dab some water in there. Look how that makes the paint move a little bit. So that makes it a little bit like there's movement on the pepper. Let's keep going. If you wanted to, you could, once it's dry, you could shake some, splash some water over it, and that'll make some spots on it, and that'll give you some texture. Sometimes people like to put salt on it. I don't mind salt. I like salt on it. That would give it some texture if you wanted. Now, I would like to point out this does have texture. And it has texture because I took it out of the refrigerator this morning, and I bought it like today's Thursday. I bought it Monday. So it probably should have been opened and cut yesterday. And I left it out. So it's got like a wrinkly skin here. It's kind of starting to dry out. But it's kind of fun. Like if you wanted to be creative and be your own artist, you could put some little lines in yours on your painting and have some texture on yours. And all you'd have to say is, oh, well, my pepper was a little old than the others. And sometimes what makes a painting really interesting is your own personality that you put into it. It's one thing to just copy something, but what makes it really fun and interesting is if you put your own personality into it. And let's, think about what you love about peppers and maybe how you cook it. Maybe you want to put a mushroom with it, or, paint it, make it yours. Make it tell your story, which is kind of fun. And who would have thought of pepper? But these are fun little free classes that I'm doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I just like it that you just paint with me, have some fun, not take it too seriously. We're certainly not making money off of this. I mean, you're not going to sell your painting. It's interesting now. Hi, Laura Lane. How are you? So happy you're here. I love when you show me what you do, Laura, when you post it on Art Yourself Studio after you're done painting it. That's so neat. Thank you so much for doing that. And thanks to all of you guys for being here. while this is drying, what I'm noticing, and I'd like you to notice too, is the highlight that I put in is really white now. Now that the red's next to it, it's really white. And that's where a lot of times with the other paintings, we've done an undercoating of a color. I didn't want to do an undercoating on this one because I wanted that red to be really bright. But what I would like to do is just take some water from water. I'm gonna figure out the best way to show you. So this is the water I've been using. I usually have 2 waters. Laura and I have been painting for about 2 hours now, right? We started it for your watercolor lesson. She's in session 2 already. She's been painting with me for a while, but our water is dirty. So I really like to have a clean water and a dirty water. One that you use for dirty water and one clean. So I did put some water extra ahead of time because I knew I wouldn't have time to change. But I'm taking advantage of having this water a little bit dirty. It's a little bit dirty. It's nice. It's got the red in it that I'm using. And I'm going to take that little bit of dirty water and just drop it in right in there to get rid of that bright white. And what I think is kind of cool, and I'd like to know what you guys think, if you think this is cool too, is you can pull some of that red that's next to it in there. So it'll still be highlighted, but it won't be a white highlight. We don't really have a bright white light on ours. I also noticed that in between, I left a little white space. It might be too late for you guys. Don't worry. This is just a technique you can do if you leave a little of the space. I left a little space because I didn't want one to bleed into the other. And afterward, you definitely need to go back through and fill that in with one of your colors. I'm going to put the next layer. I want a nice dark layer there. I'm going to put the dark layer, that part that we talked about that's right in here. You're going to put that in here too. So we're going to take some deeper, more, when I say deeper, more value, more paint on your brush. And we're going to just paint that in, just paint that right in. Another way to do it, if you wanted to, is to use a little bit of purple. I'm going to put that down here, a little bit of purple, and see what happens is it makes it a little bit of a shadow. So I'll add a little bit of purple to that. I'm painting because I feel like you guys can't see it, but you are. The camera's above me. But in any case, here we go. So I'm going to put a little purple on this one because I want to show that it's behind this front one, but I don't want to fill the whole thing because there is still some lightness on that angle, that side of the, because that one sticks out too. So I'm going to wipe that line out a little bit. Put some water on my brush and wipe it out a little bit. Okay, I'd like to see a little bit of dark down here, so I'm going to take full color and put it down here and wash it up, push it up a little bit. Now I did scoop line. I don't know how clear you can see that on your, because of the screen, but I did scoop up and it looks a little bit like a smiley face. So I don't really want to show hard lines. You can do that. That is a technique. But for this purpose, I'm just going to take the brush with a little bit of water and just dab that out. Dab that line out and let the water move a little bit and let it do what it's going to do. That's fun too. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and do it on this side. And honestly, we're about done. All we have to do is the stem. This one, my pencil is really dark and that's kind of bothering me a little bit. I shouldn't let it, but it is. So I'm going to take I'm going to take a little stronger purple and I'm going to put that line right where the pencil line is with the purple, and I'm going to say, oh, that line's there on purpose because I'm putting the purple there because I wanted it there. So when you see a line there, that's because that artist wanted it there. Okay, and then I'll put some down lower to blend it in. And whenever you use a new color or introduce, like I'm using that purple, I got to bring it in over here too. I've got to make the whole composition make sense so that when the viewer looks at it, they see, oh, they see purple there and they see purple here. So there we go. That'll be enough. It kind of makes you look around. Now, instead of having that stripy red line there, I'll take some red in my brush and I'll just tap it right next to the purple line and let the red pull that purple out. It's kind of, this is what it feels like when you're painting on silk because you do a lot of colors next to each other and they blend and pull. I still want to leave some light there. See how it just pulls out there? I think when I'm looking at the camera, I'm thinking I could do a little dab of purple down here too. Wouldn't that be nice? Just a little. I like that darkness that it gives it. It does give it a little dimension. I'll take some water and pull it up. Laura, how are we doing on time?
What do we have? About 22 after? 23
Okay, good.
after?
Okay, good. Good. I feel like I could just be painting all day long. And I really don't want to do that to y'all. Okay, so that dark pink, the full pink, red, excuse me, the full red, I would like to put it up here on the top. We haven't really done any of the dark shading up here. And I would like this top to have some dark shading there because it will be going down in. And that will help show that curve. There we go. There you go. Just a little on the dark on the top. I don't really need to touch the back two. They're pretty strong in color. I think by adding that little dark line across the top, that shows that it's going to be digging deeper underneath the back. Looks like I could use a little more over here. Might go with the purple since it's this second section. And I don't want it too much purple. I don't want you to look at it and say, well, what's that purple spot? So we'll take some water and blend it out a little bit. There you go. And I love, did you see how the water just made it move? Wasn't that cool? That's what's so fun about watercolor. Don't be afraid of it. Just have fun. This is our practice book. If you don't like it, that's okay. Go ahead and get your paper, your postcards. I like to tape, I'll show you. I like to tape mine to, these are practice ones. I like to tape, we're going to do, this has to be, that's one layer, and I'm going to put the detail in. This is going to be our koi for Monday. I've been working on some birch trees and trillium. This was going to be a, it's not finished yet, but it was going to be a hydrangea. So I like to put them on these boards, and then that'll keep your paper flat, and you can make a postcard, and you can send a postcard to somebody. The children in the hospital, we were talking about that in my morning class. The children in the hospital, they're stuck there. They don't get to go out and play. They probably bored of the TV. It wouldn't be nice to just write a little postcard to them or send them one of your paintings. Senior citizen centers, for sure. They're all stuck in there. That would be nice to send them a postcard. So make a postcard. This can be your good one or your practice one, and then you can make a postcard and make a better one. And please post it before you mail it because I really want to see it. You have to post it for me. I'm looking at that, and I don't know how you all feel, but I think it's nice. I like it. It could be a little more artsy, a little shape. It's kind of a little bit perfect in shape. I mean, like let's bump it out a little bit here or there. I might fill it in. I'm looking at it. I don't want these things staring at me. I don't want them to be these like 4 spots on there. So I'm just going to fill in a little bit. And I just took whatever was on my brush, or maybe I picked a little that warped on here. This is mixed media paper. So yeah. So we're going to do the koi on Monday, but I need your email. Send me an email, and I will send you the invite. I tried to get them out on Friday, but if I don't, you'll get it by Sunday for sure. And you'll have the Zoom link and the Zoom information to our class on Monday, which is a free one, but I like the Zoom because then I could see you. We had somebody from Canada, and we had a friend from Brazil, and hopefully next Monday we'll get Australia represented too. But you all are welcome. Please send me your emails. I'd love to have you join me. And I'm thinking now we're going to go ahead and do the green. I'm going to take that sap green first and just do a little, I'm going to go down one side. I think, can you see it? Okay, good. One side of it, and then I'll go down the bottom side. So I went on either side. I left the center open. Little bit of water. Let it move a little bit. If it moves into that red more, that's good. No worries. Here we go. I'm gonna let it go down deep in there a little bit. It's kind of neat how it blends right into the red part. Okay. I left the center of the stem, and I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Maybe put a little dark on this outer edge with that green that we had, and the darker green. And then when it's dry, we'll just take the lighter green. And what I like about this green is it's giving me the same effect as I got with the purple. So maybe I'll take some of that green, and to tie the whole thing in together, put some of that green down here. Just to tie it in. If you wanted to do a little shadow, you could just put a little shadow in there. I didn't really determine at the beginning, which I usually do, what I like to do when I'm painting, is, oh, look how that bled into there. But that's kind of cool. I like that. That's good too. Right there was a Bob Ross moment, wasn't it? I just felt like Bob Ross right there. I did. I do that. I don't really do it when I'm painting by myself. I don't really talk like this. But it's fun. We're having fun, right, Laura? I love that you're with me, Laura. This helps to have a voice. Gosh, I love it.
It's lots of fun.
Yeah, maybe I give the Zoom link to everybody. They can come at 3 o'clock on this day too. This just makes it so much better. Okay, so now I'm just dabbing and playing. I really should stop. I don't need to do more. I'm just kind of playing, which is fun too, because you learn, definitely learn from this playing, because you'll go too far, and then you'll learn, okay, that was too far. The next time I do it, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to do that. What else? What else, Laura? Am I missing anything? The light.
Great. I don't see what you're missing. You talked about how to get it not streaky looking. That was good.
Okay, so right here, this middle line. Now I'm taking the lighter green, the olive green, and just dabbing it in there. So they're kind of blending together. And that gives you some interest and some texture. Let's see if I can pull it up. It shows you a little bit of detail in that stem. It's kind of watery, so I think I might do another pass on that outer section there, with the darker green on this top section here. I might just do a little darker pass. Let's see if I can get it close enough to the camera for you to see. Yeah, and then that helps give it a little dimension too. And there you go. There's our red pepper. Don't forget to look at that red, how it came down into the bottom. I really like that. That's really cool. I might just put a little green in there too to spread that out. I like that. You could, if you wanted to, let's grab some blue. I don't know why I love this really teal blue. I think a lot of people like the teal blue. And look, I'm just going to do some splatters on there. Isn't that fun? Can you see them? I can't really see them. The problem is it does splatter your whole computer and the fruit next to it. Okay, or the vegetable next to it. So that looks a little wonky, the splatter on the pepper. So then just brush it in. You don't want to change your painting, but go ahead and just brush in those splatters and they'll blend in. They'll give you some little streaks, and it'll give you some texture and interest in your painting. Otherwise, if I'm doing like my puppy portraits, I definitely put splatter on the background. I think that's what I'm known for. I always cover the puppy and I splatter. I don't let the splatter go across it like I did on this. But that's fine. This just has a couple little like blue splatters on it. But when you splatter, maybe you might want to cover it up. It's okay. I like the little streaks that it's giving me. It's definitely taken its own shape. Look how cool that is. Isn't that cool? It just gave its own dimension. And it made, yeah, it doesn't, now it just tells a story. Mine were a little old. They've got little splatters on it. But I love how the red in the back is lighter. The behind is a little lighter. It's almost like the light is behind my head and I'm painting down, and this is light and then that's light back there, and it's a little darker going down into the center where this is the center there. So I think that's about all I can do without boring you guys. It's definitely 3:30, 3:34. Thank you for joining me.